The year is 1978. Jaws is the hottest movie in the world, disco is king, and a brand new format promises to change home entertainment forever. It's shiny, it's massive, and it offers unparalleled picture quality. It's the LaserDisc. But what happens when the future of tech is too expensive, too cumbersome, and ultimately a spectacular failure? This is the story of a superior technology that simply could not find its audience. It's a classic tech fail. Welcome to Tech Fails, where we dissect the spectacular flops, the forgotten products, and the monumental technology scandals that dot the history of innovation. We look at the projects that burned bright and then faded away. Today, we're digging up the grave of a format that was technically superior to VHS, yet couldn't manage to find a place in the average American living room. We are talking about the great silver platter of doom, the LaserDisc. To understand the tech fail that was the LaserDisc, you have to appreciate the world it was born into. The late 70 seconds was a wild west for home video, a time of massive technical competition. The primary contender was the VCR, specifically the VHS format that was just starting its dominance over Betamax. These were analog magnetic tapes, and the quality of those tapes was, well, let's just say they were fuzzy and grainy. They stretched, they chewed up, and they degraded every single time you played them. This was the existing bar for home video quality. Then, in December 1978, Magnavox introduced the Magnavision player, the first commercially available player for this brand new optical format. It was developed by Philips and MCA. The pitch was simple and in fact revolutionary for the time. Perfect picture, perfect sound. This was the core promise of the LaserDisc. Unlike VHS, which was an analog magnetic format, the LaserDisc, or DiscoVision, as it was initially called, was optical. This was a crucial difference in how the data was stored. A low-power laser beam read tiny pits pressed into the disc's reflective surface. This wasn't some minor upgrade. It was a fundamental shift in media technology. The technical specifications were drool-worthy for the time. LaserDisc offered over 400 lines of resolution, a significant leap in clarity. This was considerably higher than the roughly 240 lines VHS could manage. It delivered pristine, CD-quality digital audio years before digital audio was standard on video formats. This made it a favorite among music and film connoisseurs. Features we take for granted today, like frame-accurate searching, slow motion, and freeze frame, were possible because the disc was read non-contact. There was no wear and tear on the media itself. Imagine watching Star Wars with the clarity of a cinema print in your living room in 1980. It was incredible. It truly looked like the future of home cinema. So, with all that technical superiority, what happened? Why did it become one of the most compelling cautionary tales of a technology scandal involving a superior product failing? If you look at the epitaph for the LaserDisc, it really only needs 2 bullet points. High cost and physical size prevented mass adoption. These 2 factors were deadly. Let's start with the cost. This is where the whole thing became a magnificent, self-inflicted wound that crippled the format. In 1980, the average VCR player was running around $500 to $700. It wasn't cheap, but it was justifiable for the novelty of being able to watch movies at home. The early LaserDisc players, we're talking $1,000 to $1,500 right out of the gate. That was an enormous amount of money for a consumer electronics device. Adjusted for inflation, that's like paying $4,000 to $6,000 for a Blu-ray player today, completely pricing it out of the mass market. The discs themselves were also prohibitively expensive. A single LaserDisc movie could cost between $30 and $50. Compare that to a VHS tape, which you could often buy for less, but more importantly, you could easily rent for a couple of dollars. The price differential was significant and recurring. And that brings us to the first and most crippling design flaw of the entire ecosystem. Early LaserDisc players could not record. This one detail is what truly sealed the format's fate. The VCR was a home entertainment device, yes, but its true killer app was the V in VCR, video recording. People wanted to time shift to record The Cosby Show or the Super Bowl to watch later. This capability was the primary driver of VCR adoption. The LaserDisc, by contrast, was a pure playback device, a beautiful, high-fidelity format for passive consumption. It was strictly a consumption machine. In the eyes of the consumer, the VCR was a tool that did something useful. The LaserDisc was just a fancy movie player that cost a fortune. The lack of recording capability, combined with the astronomical price tag, confined the LaserDisc to a niche market. These were the avid videophiles and the wealthy early adopters. It wasn't a mass-market product. It was a luxury item for film enthusiasts. The average family simply couldn't justify the expense. The second inescapable flaw that contributes to this incredible tech fail is the sheer scale of the thing. This wasn't a sleek modern device. The discs were massive. These discs were 12 inches in diameter, the same size as a vinyl LP record. This created a logistical nightmare for users. Think about the storage issues this created. A typical shelf could hold dozens of compact VHS tapes, which were easy to manage. A dozen LaserDiscs, however, took up the space of a small bookshelf. Collecting 100 movies meant dedicating an entire wall to your collection. They were also heavy, easily scratched, and constantly susceptible to bending and warping. Handling them required care, which reduced convenience. The players themselves were also massive, imposing pieces of machinery required to handle the large spinning platter. They were bulky and dominant. They often weighed 20 or 30 pounds and became a major, imposing feature in any entertainment center. They weren't discreet or subtle. You also had to handle the discs with the same care as vinyl records, which was a step backward in convenience from the simple cassette-based VCR. And let's not forget the early discs. A single full-length movie often couldn't fit on one side, meaning a mandatory interruption. So in the middle of a film, say during a pivotal action scene, you'd get the prompt, "Please turn the disc over." Talk about ruining the immersion and continuity. LaserDisc's biggest strength, its size, which allowed for the high-quality resolution, was also its biggest weakness in the context of consumer convenience. It was a technical paradox. It was a trade-off that the mass market simply refused to make. They overwhelmingly chose convenience and economy, the core strengths of VHS. The narrative is often framed as a format war between LaserDisc and VHS, but honestly, it was more of a technical knockout before the bell even rang. VHS had 3 insurmountable advantages that the LaserDisc could never overcome. These 3 advantages secured its market dominance. First, the recording capability. As we've covered, this was the non-negotiable feature for the vast majority of consumers. Second, rental market dominance. The lower manufacturing costs and compact size of VHS tapes made them perfect for rental stores. The rapid growth of video rental stores like Blockbuster was the tidal wave that drowned the LaserDisc. No rental market meant no mass exposure or accessibility. Why invest in a $1,000 player for a format you can't easily access or cheaply try out? The economics simply didn't work for the consumer. The ultimate nail in the coffin for this particular tech fail was the rise of the camcorder. Suddenly, consumers weren't just watching movies, they were making their own home movies. Guess which format the first affordable consumer camcorders used? VHS and its smaller sibling, VHS-C. This cemented VHS as the universal home video medium. The LaserDisc offered no path into the booming world of personal video creation. It was stuck being a professional playback device only. It's a tragic irony. LaserDisc was a technologically elegant solution to a problem that hadn't fully emerged yet: the demand for high-quality home video. By the time picture quality truly became the driving force for home video, the format itself had been rendered obsolete. This wouldn't happen until the late 92nds and early 2000s. The format was ultimately replaced by the next generation of optical media, the DVD. The sun had already set on the big silver platter. While the LaserDisc failed to achieve mass market penetration, it absolutely refused to die a quick death. It enjoyed a surprisingly long, though limited, lifespan. In the United States, it became the darling of serious film collectors and directors. LaserDisc releases were often superior, featuring better audio tracks and special features, the true precursors to DVD extras. George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, and James Cameron were all huge proponents of the format for its quality. It had powerful advocates, but not powerful enough. But the true home for the LaserDisc was Japan. In Japan, where living spaces are traditionally smaller, the format paradoxically thrived in a niche market. It became a key component of the high-end audiophile and videophile market. It was also heavily adopted in the karaoke industry. The random access capabilities and pristine audio were invaluable for professional karaoke systems. For a while, Japanese electronics giants like Pioneer were synonymous with the format. They drove impressive technical innovations like double-sided playback and the first players capable of handling both digital and analog audio. This longevity, however, was a slow fade. From 1978 to 2000, it was technically available, but it never crossed that chasm from niche novelty to mainstream necessity. When the DVD arrived in the late 90s, it delivered the same core promise as the LaserDisc's superior digital quality and durability, but in a compact, inexpensive package. The DVD could be easily mass-produced and integrated into rental stores. The DVD was everything the LaserDisc should have been: high quality and convenient. Pioneer, the format's biggest champion, officially discontinued LaserDisc player production in January 2009, over 30 years after its launch. This marked the final chapter in this prolonged tech fail. The LaserDisc story is one of the most important case studies in the history of technology scandals and product failure. It's a painful reminder that the best technology doesn't always win. What are the major lessons we can take from the great silver platter? There are three critical takeaways for innovators. First, convenience trumps quality, at least initially. For mass adoption, a product must be easy to use and easy to afford. VHS was the good enough technology that met these criteria. Consumers will tolerate a lower quality product if it provides a superior convenience or a must-have feature like recording. The LaserDisc offered a 10/10 picture but a 3/10 convenience rating, and the convenience factor proved more important to the mass market. Second, the ecosystem is everything. A product is only as strong as the infrastructure supporting it and the content available for it. The LaserDisc failed to create a viable ecosystem. It needed affordable players, mass market content availability, and a robust rental market. Without that content distribution network, the player was just an expensive paperweight. VHS won because every corner store eventually became a video rental outlet. Third, price kills potential. No matter how impressive the tech, if the price point is prohibitive, the market is instantly slashed and isolated. The early, high cost of entry for both the player and the media ensured that the format would only ever be a curiosity, never a standard. This is a recurring theme in tech fails. You have to optimize for volume and accessibility, not just for technical margin, especially in a competitive consumer market. The LaserDisc was a marvel of engineering, a bold leap into the future of optical storage, and a glorious, oversized silver platter of failure. It was too soon, too big, and too expensive for its time. It walked so the DVD could run and the Blu-ray could fly. It's a testament to the fact that innovation requires more than just technical superiority. It requires market timing and price accessibility. It also requires a deep understanding of what the average person actually wants to do with the technology in their home. So, the next time you're streaming a 4K movie instantly on your TV, take a moment to pour one out for the magnificent LaserDisc. It gave us the dream of perfect home video, but demanded too high a price for its size and perfection. Thanks for tuning into Tech Fails. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what forgotten tech failure we should dig up next.